Well, it's obviously a weekend that's getting a lot of attention, both locally and nationally. We have the ultimate challenge in front of us in playing the University of Florida. They are terrific in all aspects of the game, from a talent standpoint, from a pitching standpoint, speed, athleticism. You know, there's no chink in their armor. We got to play our best baseball to put ourselves in position to have a chance to win. And we understand that, you know, we're playing probably the favorite, and I don't say probably, the favorite to win the national championship. And they've been a consensus #1 team, I guess, preseason and pretty much about every week throughout the regular season as well. So we're playing a great team, and we look forward to it. It's a great opportunity. I know our fans are excited. I'm sure Founders Park will be packed to the gills with fans and energy and enthusiasm and passion. And that's always fun setting to play college baseball when you have two great teams with a lot on the line, playing in front of a great fan base and a great facility. All eyes of college baseball will be on Columbia tomorrow night, and that's fun to be a part of. That's why our players love to come to South Carolina. That's why, you know, when they come here, they want to be involved in weekends like this, and I'm sure that's the same case for Florida. We have the utmost respect for Florida. They are terrific in all aspects, and but we have a great opportunity as well playing here in front of our home fans, and we look forward to starting the season, look forward to starting the series tomorrow night.
Brian.
Were you a little surprised that they changed up their rotation during this series?
No, they've had some Thursday, Friday, Saturday series, and they like to keep their guys on schedule and on their same routine. And so no, no surprise there. I don't. They're going to throw 3 first-rounders at us, and it doesn't matter in what order. You're still going to have to face them. And Shore's been terrific there for 3 years now, and he's one of the best pitchers in the game. And obviously, he doesn't have a blemish on that record, and he's certainly a great pitcher in all aspects. And then Puck might be the first pick in the draft this June. And Fado's terrific and might be a top 5 pick, if not #1 pick next June. So, no, I wasn't. I mean, I never even really gave it a second thought, because no matter what, we're going to face 3 potential All-Americans and 3 first-round draft picks. So the order wasn't that important to me.
Talking about their 3 pitchers and how good they are, I imagine you have some confidence in your 3 starters as well, though. Just talk about those guys and what they've done for you guys this year.
Well, they've been terrific. And, usually we're sitting here and I got 2 freshmen and 1 sophomore in our weekend rotation. That's usually not a great recipe for success in the SEC. But that being said, we've had a lot of success because of the way they've pitched. And they've thrown the ball extremely well. Clark kind of has set the tone for us all year long, and he's a leader, not only from our pitching staff standpoint, but he's a leader of our team. He gives our players a lot of confidence every time that he takes the ball, and when he's on the mound, we feel like we have a chance. And we're as good as those guys are. We're certainly not throwing chopped liver at them either, but they understand, our players understand that they're going to have to pitch at a high level to give ourselves a chance this weekend. But we have the utmost confidence in our guys. Clark and Braden and Adam have been terrific all year long.
Coach, what's the key to this series, winning this series for your guys this weekend?
Oh, I mean, we just got to play the best baseball that we've played all year long. And I hate to say there's one key. There's not one key. You have to score. And it's very, very hard to score on these guys, not only from a pitching standpoint, but they also are fielding 984 as a team. That's unheard of in college baseball. I mean, so they play great defense. They got a great pitching staff. I think if you said, well, if you look back, I mean, how you put yourself in position to win, you have to capitalize when you have an opportunity, because the opportunities will probably be few and far between. And probably have to get a big 2-out hit here or there. If you get a runner in scoring position, 2 outs, you got to try to find a way to score them, and maybe the ball's got to bounce your way. You can look at this on paper and be scared to death. Luckily, the game's played between the white lines, and And we're going to hopefully the ball will bounce our way this weekend. And but we're going to need to play at a very, very high level. We're going to need some good fortune, and we're going to need to capitalize on our opportunities.
Chad, you mentioned before Florida came into the season a big-time school, a big-time contender for the title. Maybe those same people wouldn't have thought that about South Carolina when the season began. You had some questions. How has this group kind of persevered and gotten to this point? What have you seen so far in the season to get you guys this point?
Well, we've and I say this a lot, but we've been a close-knit group. They have a sense of togetherness about them. The camaraderie's been great. They've worked together. They've won together. When we've lost together. We haven't placed blame, on something that's bad's happened. We've accepted it as a group. When we've won, we've enjoyed it as a team, not as individuals. It's just been a strong, cohesive group of players. And they've enjoyed each other. They've enjoyed winning. They rallied around each other when the waters got a little bit rough, and they've handled adversity the right way. And it's been a great group to be around. I don't think we're the most talented team in the country. We're probably not close to that. But we do have a strong sense of togetherness, and that's enabled us to win some games maybe that we were in position to lose, and it's also enabled us to bounce back for some tough defeats. And I've said from the get-go that I've loved the character of our group. And sometimes your character's challenged, once the season starts or once you face some adversity, but they've handled that with flying colors as well.
Derek and then Colin.
Coach, last 3 years, they've gotten you 9 out of 10, and as you mentioned, they've kind of had that mystique about them a little bit this year with, the way you have to play to beat them. Do you address that at all with your squad as far as, how do you approach a team that's had your number here the last few years and has this image or reputation of being the best?
Well, they've been terrific, and they've been good for a long period of time. Even when we were in Omaha, we always checked on how Florida was doing, and I'm sure they did the same in regards to us. They've had a good run against us the last 3 years. That doesn't have any effect on what's going to happen this weekend. They have a certain mystique. They're used to winning. I think 33-8's used to winning too. So we're going to put some guys out there that are used to winning as well. And ultimately, what it comes down to in this league is you have to perform better than your opponent. And Florida's always, when you play it well as they have played, and you're in the College World Series as much as they've been in the College World Series, and you've competed for national championships, you're going to have a mystique about you. But we have that same mystique, and I don't, you just got to. We've won our fair share. We just got to go play better than our opponent, and we're going to try like crazy to put ourselves in position to do that. And but they're going to make it very, very difficult on us, and I hope our players make it difficult on them. That's what makes this series so great to be a part of.
Colin and then back to Matt.
You talked about your team's kind of togetherness. What have you seen from your team focus-wise this week with exams and no midweek?
Well, I mean, you never know how they're going to respond. No midweek game. They've taken a deep breath. They've relaxed a little bit. They've focused on their academics, and but I think there's been a sense of excitement around here as well, and hope to have a good workout today, and we'll probably have a good little early workout tomorrow with some guys, and be ready to go tomorrow night. But I've seen nothing. We've played 41 games, and it's been a good stretch and a busy stretch for our kids in more ways than just athletics. So to have this week to catch your breath from a baseball standpoint, I think it's been good for them. And hopefully, that'll result in some good play this weekend. I think they're going to be ready to go from an energy standpoint, and they're excited about playing. Now they have to go out there and perform at a high level to have a chance to be successful against Florida.
25-1 at home this year and undefeated in conference play. In addition to this, the crowd and everything, is there just a little more confidence when you guys are playing here, you feel like?
Well, I would hope so. I mean, when you perform the way that we've performed here at Founders Park, you would think you'd have some confidence, that it would produce some confidence. And, we've certainly, when we play games down here, we've won for the most part. That's got to give our players some confidence, But they also understand that the opponents in this league are very, very difficult. They understand that Florida has many All-Americans and first-round draft picks on their roster, so it's the ultimate challenge for them. And they understand that they're going to have to play well to win. But it's certainly a lot more comforting knowing that we're playing here than on the road, because we certainly tend to play at a very high level here. And hopefully our fans can will us and make the energy and enthusiasm so loud in the stadium that it makes it hard on our opponent, and it gives our guys a little extra. I don't want to say the wrong word, but you know what I mean. A little extra kick in the pants to play at the level that we need to play to have a chance to beat Florida.
Scott and Phil, and then John.
Obviously, a lot of people say that the Clemson rivalry is one of the best in the country, but I would submit I think the South Carolina-Florida rivalry is as good as any, considering you guys matched up in the National Championship Series in 2011. I mean, you guys go back a long time with these guys in terms of series that games that matter a lot. So, I mean, does that give the players an extra bounce in the step? And how does this team, this Florida team you playing this weekend, compare to that Florida team you played in 2011? Because that team had a lot of Mike Zunino, a lot of major leaguers on that team as well.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I'm not probably smart enough to compare, two Florida teams. All I know is the team that we played in 2011 was very good, was loaded, and the team that we're going to play tomorrow night's every bit as good. They're not going to take a back seat to anybody. I mean, I said this Sunday, I've coached for over 20 years, and I don't know if I've seen a roster full of potential first-round picks in major leaguers as I see on their roster. It's a very, very deep, talented team. Baseball's a funny game, and sometimes the guy that throws the hardest doesn't always win. Sometimes the guy that hits it the farthest doesn't always win. It's a funny game. It comes down to execution a lot of times, togetherness, toughness, and stepping up at the right time to make a big play. We were able to do that in 11. Remains to be seen what's going to happen this weekend. But Florida's, with Coach O'Sullivan, has been very, very good for a long period of time, and we have the utmost respect for them. And we've had some incredible games with them, and I think they feel the same way about us.
Phil, and then John.
You have said you wanted to figure out a way to get Hopkins into the lineup. Have you had a chance to figure out a way to get him into the lineup tomorrow night?
Well, no. I had a chance to think about it. I hadn't had a chance to figure it out. TJ's certainly a big part of our team. That pitcher-catcher relationship is also very important in the game of baseball. And I've had some, one-on-one conversations with TJ about my plans for him and how important he is to our program, and not only this year but in the future. And I'm gonna try like crazy to get him in there. I have to wrestle with what's the most important thing, and there's a lot of factors to consider. Very, very difficult decision, but I'll probably decide at the last second that I have to decide. And I'm not trying to keep anything. I honestly, I don't know. I mean, and I hadn't known all year. I mean, when I have to turn it in at 6 o'clock, I'm gonna turn it in, and I got to catch somebody, and I got to play somebody in the outfield, and I give it as much thought as I can to make sure that Clark's comfortable, and the matchups are right. I look at the averages, I look at the splits. There's so many things I look at to try to make the best decision I can. But it's regardless if Colin's not in there or TJ's not in there. I know that I got a really good player on the bench that I can put in there to help us win the game. But TJ's going to get his fair share of cracks as we go forward.
That's similar to what I wanted to ask you, but when you go into a series like this, knowing that you're facing the top shelf pitching that you're going to face, knowing that runs are going to be a premium, do you put a different lineup out there or manage a little bit differently knowing that runs are going to be so hard to score?
Well, I think, you'll certainly think about bunting, maybe if the scoring opportunities are few and far between, you certainly think about getting runners in scoring position as often as you can, just because it's hard to get 3 hits in an inning against these guys. It's very, very difficult. And and a lot of times it takes 3 singles to score a run. So obviously, we're going to need to execute. We need to get our bunts down. That doesn't mean I'm going to be bunting in the first inning. I hadn't done that, I don't think, all year long, and we've bunted. We haven't. I pretty much let the guys swing the bat all year long. But that being said, based on the numbers and the talent they're going to throw out there tomorrow night, that you got to try like crazy to move guys along. You can't afford to hit into double plays. You got to get guys in scoring position. And so I think, you look at the opponent, and I think the opponent always dictates how you manage a game from a matchup standpoint, who they got in the bullpen, and certainly, who you're pitching to. We gotta try to push the envelope as best we can and try to win the game, because I don't think we're going to sit around and wait on a 3-run homer to win it. I don't think that's a good recipe. I hope like crazy we do, but I don't know if that's the right way going about planning on beating Florida.
Take 2 more, Scott and then Matt, or 3, Scott and Matt, John. That's it.
I want to follow up on the earlier question about the home record. You guys have the best home record in the SEC. Florida has the best road record in the SEC. So how much of this series is going to come down to which team is mentally tougher and getting after it?
I think they have really good players that are mentally tough, and I think we have some mentally tough kids. Honestly, I think it comes down to who plays better. I mean, I know that sounds simplistic, but we got some tough cookies on my team, and I know they do. And you can say, well, does it mean their player's tougher than our player if they step up with 2 outs in the 8th and get a hit and our player doesn't? That doesn't really mean you're just going to have to step up and play at the right time and get the big hit. And the team that plays the best baseball will have a chance to win. And I say that to our players all the time, regardless of the opponent in this league. You play better than your opponent, you have a chance. And that's going to be our focus. We got to try to play better. And understand that it's a great challenge, and try to play our best baseball of the season. And we try to do that each and every time that we step out on the field, and hopefully that'll be enough to give us a chance.
Matt, then John.
Kind of maybe similar to John's question. You guys faced a couple of Friday night starters that are projected first-round picks the last 2 weeks and had some success. I mean, is there anything that's key to that, or what kind of allowed you guys to do that?
Once the game starts, I don't think our players look at who they're facing. You just try to put a good swing on it, and that you're going to have to hit pitches tomorrow night. You're not going to get pitches down the middle. You're not going to get pitches. They're not going to throw pitches in there that you want to swing at. You're going to have to hit pitches that they want you to swing. They're going to provide the ultimate challenge. Our guys like the opportunity that's in front of them. And whether we face first rounders in this league every weekend. So it's not like this is a new experience for our players. That being said, they probably have more than what we faced in the past. So, and Florida's going to face a first rounder, maybe 3 first rounders as well. So that's what makes the series great. We're going to face some incredible pitching. I think they're going to face some pretty darn good arms too. And the team that plays the best and the team that swings the bat with runners in scoring position, that's the team that's going to win. And I think they've been a great defensive team. We've been a great defensive team. It ultimately comes down to who's going to step up with people out there and get the big hit. And hopefully it's us, but I guess that's what we'll wait and see.
John, last one.
I think you've come pretty close to filling up the first round of the draft for next year. I was wondering where Clark Schmidt kind of fits into there.
He's as good as any of them. I'm not a pro scout. I get to coach college baseball, so but I'm a pretty good predictor of how drafts will unfold, since I spend a lot of my time in this business recruiting. So, but Clark is as good as anybody, and I'm glad he's on our team. He's certainly has all the athleticism, the toughness, the work ethic to be a very, very high pick, a top 10 pick. He's an All-American first teamer in my book, and like I said, I'm glad he's on our team, and I'm glad the University of South Carolina is providing him the opportunity to reach his goals and dreams, and hopefully he'll continue to work as hard as he's worked and pitch as well as he's pitched. He's a true joy to be around, and he's a leader of our team. He sets the tone for us, and he's got a bright career playing this game. He'll play this game a long period of time if the good Lord's willing and he stays healthy. But he's a joy to have on our team for sure.